Welcome back, guys, to another day of Bitcoin update with King. Um, just want to get the disclaimer out of the way. This is not financial advice. Please do your due diligence before making any decisions based on this information. So today, there's quite a few things I want to go over, so it may take a little bit of time. We'll see here. We'll see how long. I mean, I'll try and make it short and sweet, but we'll get through it. So either way, a lot of things happened. Obviously, in the last 24 hours, we've made a nice little jump up to the 7,000 range. This is a 1 hour chart. For some reason, my computer is being really slow here, so bear with me. So anyway, I'm looking at the 1 hour chart. I woke up this morning. I seen this 9 on the sequential. You know, when I seen that, I'm thinking, okay, good, great, all right, it's about time now. We're gonna fall, and we got a little bit more of a jump back up here, where we had a couple of price flips in the sequential. So we'll see what happens here in the short term. In the short term, it's still quite. Let's see here. Let's go back. I mean, we're on top of all the moving averages, but I believe it's this one. No, not that one. Nope. What's going on here? Here it is. Okay. So let's go to the 1 hour here. And on the 1 hour, you're seeing that we were a little oversold there for, well, obviously once we hit that 7,000 area, and then we came back down a bit. So, on the short term, I still feel we're going to fall more, but we could see a little bit more back of a push up, and I'll explain why here in a little bit. We'll get more into that. I mean, the stock's just getting back towards that oversold area. We could see a little bit of up here for a little while longer, but we'll see. I mean, the RSI is completely oversold. I like to use the TSI a little better. It seems to be a little bit more accurate. But either way, we're still oversold. Close enough to oversold for me to see a good drop. But we'll see. They're conflicting here, so we'll have to see how it plays out. The CMF is back up. It's coming back up. Since it's kind of bullish right now, we'll see. On the shorter time frames, again, it's kind of overbought. We'll see what happens there. Same with the squeeze momentum. I mean, we kind of got it out of the way, and I can show you that as well. If we go back to the shorts, shorts are coming down. Shorts are coming down pretty nice here. Not quite where we want them at, obviously, but they're definitely coming down. This squeeze is starting to work. So anyway, looking at that, from what I've been seeing is if I'm long now, I'm getting out. I'm definitely getting out for sure. We've got a sequential 9 on the hourly. Let's see here if I can get this to move. There we go. All right, so to the 4 hourly, we've got a 9 sequential again, with a down signal. So just watch that again. To me, we're just running out of steam. I mean, every time frame here we look at. Let's go to the 12 hour. This is the one. We're at the 9 now. When the daily closes here in a little while, we'll see what happens. But again, if I'm long, I'm taking profits now. I wouldn't wait at all. I'd take profits and get out. I've been building a short for a while, as most of you may know. I've been saying this for a few weeks now. I figured or a few days now anyway, we won't say weeks, but for a few days now, I figured that, we've all been saying the shorts needed to get squeezed. This fake BitMEX, one good trader screwed everybody position wasn't really the short squeeze. It could have been, but it wasn't. This is definitely where we're at now. We're short squeezing. It's still, a 50% level on the daily retracement. I don't think we're going to see much more. But on the daily chart, that's where we look at and we have a 6. And that's the only thing that's got me really thinking with the sequential system anyway. that we may still go up and really test this 71, 72, maybe even go up and hit the 128-day moving average, which is sitting around 73, 74. The longer it takes to get there, the lower it's going to be. But either way, on the daily, we're still seeing a 5-6 climb here. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But there still is 3 days worth of possibilities of ups, and that's kind of the only two bullish signals I've seen is that. And then if you go back to all the oscillators here, you know, on the 1 hour, you know, let's go back to the daily here. You know, we're creeping back up towards that oversold area. The TSI says we're closer, or it's not oversold, but overbought. We're definitely overbought here. The stock is, you know, it's up there as well. It's actually starting to turn, so, you know, I think this little hyper wave here, this little fast movement up to squeeze the shorts is pretty much done. There may be a little bit left in it, but I'm thinking we're pretty close to done when it comes to that. So let's go back to the 1 day. And if we go back to the 1 day here and zoom out a bit, let me get it zoomed out here. Let me get rid of this side piece here. For some reason. There we go. Alright. So we're moving slow. So there's a few different ways that I've got this playing out. I have it better on a different chart here. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Okay, so anyway, here's the 1 day chart. Now, I've got this dotted line here, just kind of finishing out my descending wedge instead. If we look at this on the 1 day, let's say we get 2-3 more days and maybe get to that 72, 7400 level, which would be again at cloud support. That's almost dead on. It's at 7400. You didn't even notice that till just now. So anyway, that's pretty close to that. But either way, let's just say we go up a few more days, test this line here at the 7180 range, kind of the area we're playing in now. Let's say we get there and we, you know, the next 3 days are like that. I don't have the sequential on here. Let me add it real quick. Alright, so let's say we keep going up with that and we get our 9. Okay, now that 9 could happen here, that 9 could happen, you know, somewhere up here in this range. Let me zoom back out, double check my lines here. Yeah, so, you know, we could see, come on, Jesus. We could see some movement here up again into this area, but we do have the 128-day moving average coming through there, and I don't have that on this chart either for some reason, but let's just add it on there. We can always have an animated change. So let's see if we can get out of there. There we go. For some reason I'm real slow today, guys. I don't know what the issue is, but something's going on. It's quite frustrating with me, but either way, we'll get through it. Jesus. So there's the 128-day moving average, which is about that 7,400 range. And then you got the 200-day moving average, which is running about up here. And I'll show you more of that when we get over to that page. But anyway, so we're, you know, I think that there's a possibility our 9 touches out somewhere wicking that line, which is possible. It could just fall. A lot of the other charts are saying bearish, bearish, bearish. Everything else has got a nice sequential 9. Everything's calling down. I mean, if you look at the 9s based over time, they're pretty accurate. we'll see if it plays out that way, but that is a possibility. But again, if you look at this movement up, it's on, down, downtrend in volume as well. So, we'll see if that continues, which I think it's gonna. But so anyway, that's kind of the idea behind that. So let's go here to MAs. I've got a ton of MAs drawn on here. So basically, this is the 12-hour chart. And we just have the 100 and 200 MAs cross over here on the 12-hour chart. But we do have that 9 there. We may have a golden cross happening in this area. Usually when it happens, though, it'll pull back to that area if it happens too low. I think there's a big price spread there. So if that happens, I've got a feeling we'll pull back to at least that area in the 6,500 area range. And we'll see what happens there. But I was looking at, let's see, that's our moving averages, the Bollinger Bands. Now that's the other one. So we don't have any stop points coming up or reverse points coming up yet, which is one thing that's a little sketchy. We want to watch that, and we'll see. We may even see a 6, 7, 8, 9 finish off on these candles and keep coming up. But we are at the top of the Bollinger Bands. There is a chance that we easily on the short term come back down to 6,800, maybe a little less. But when you go to the larger time frames, like the 12-hour, with the 9, the way this is playing out here, we could see a pretty hefty drop coming. Again, same thing here. You had your 9 close outside, a full candle outside of the BB. To me, that's always a sign that we're most likely going to go down. We kind of came back up and retested this area, so we'll see. We'll see what it does. I've got a feeling that, again, it's going to fall back off with this chart easy, the 6,500 area. So we'll see. I've got a feeling, there's some bullish signs, there's some bearish signs. There's more bearish than there is bullish. Definitely when you look, on the longer time frames, within the next 3 to 5 days, we should be on our way down to test the 6K area. And depending on how that plays out, we may fall even more. Again, when you go back to the daily chart on the on the Ichi here, I mean, again, I really feel we can be rejected here. I want to see a higher high. And right now, I don't see it happening. We're kind of, and again, we've come up kind of fast without any type of good retracement, which again leads me to believe that it's just a short squeeze that's happening here. Very risky to long it anywhere. I mean, maybe when it broke out the 6,500 range would have been a good, long scalp. If you were watching it, but for me, it was just too dangerous to long this. You just never know. Could easily have fell at any point when we were at 67. So it just didn't make any sense. And now we're squeezing the longs. We're coming up on some serious resistance again. I just don't feel that there's a chance that we're going to go back down or back up. And I don't think we're going to touch that line either. I mean, I've seen other charts that have been drawn here. Who knows? I'm using the BitMEX chart with this particular drawing. So maybe if I go to the Coinbase chart or something that's a little lower, and I will, I'll do that as well. But, if we do that here, I believe with the Coinbase chart, if I'm correct or not, let's just draw it real quick. Let's find out. Let's see, I'm not drawing it there. I can get more red. So guys, when you're drawing these lines, Um, quick tip is you want to hit as much points as possible if you can. You want to cover as many tops as you can in the same trend. That gives you the more accurate line. So here I'm kind of hitting everything. I've kind of caught a little bit of every trend line. So when you do that, it brings that line down a bit. Let's see. So again, that puts you 1, 2, 3 days, let's say, tops, 64, 65, and that's kind of my idea of absolute worst case pump. Worst case up is to 65, or sorry, not 65, 75. But I just don't. I feel like with all the other time frames giving you that 9 drop on the 12-hour, the 6-hour, you've got an 8. Maybe get one more half a day of decent up, which I thought was possible, and I still think it is. We'll go up and test the top of that, but we're running out of steam if you think about it. I mean, on the 4-hour, you've got, I believe, if it'll pop up here, there we go. We just had our 9 today, and we're playing around in that same area. So let's see what happens there. Same thing on the 1-hour. It happened, a while back. Go back almost 8-9 hours, and boom, you had your 9 drop there as well. Same thing on the 1-hour. So I just feel that there's a lot of things telling me with the sequential system that it's definitely going to take we're going to take a dip here soon, and it should be a decent one. As I feel that we still have a good chance at breaking the descending triangle down, or the ascent, or the descending wedge. I got a fly flying around me here, bugging the hell out of me. But anyway, so there we go. Where was that chart? Was it that one? Nope. Anyway, so here it's kind of drawn on this chart here. Your descending wedge or your descending triangle here, just being your baseline. Again, maybe that. Most descending triangles break out at the 2/3 to 3/4 mark. If we look at this here, I mean, you can count it back to about here. Let's count that point. So your 3/4 point would be somewhere in this area, which is telling me mid-September is when we could easily see a breakthrough of this trend line. Again, we're already getting back to that oversold area on the daily. It's obviously a weaker bounce than the previous one with the TSI. If you look at the TSI, we were oversold pretty good here when we got to there. Then we got really oversold here at the top. But now we're creeping back to that same area with only a 50% jump. Out of this entire fall here, 50% would put you somewhere at the 0 line. So I feel like this is a lot weaker of a bounce than we even had when we went to the 85. So there's, I just don't see us going much higher. So that's why I'm building short. I'm building short because I believe we can get in safe entries, get a good average entry for this fall that it's imminent. It's gonna happen, guys. It may take a few weeks, but it's gonna happen. This is definitely falling. So my thought process is always more mid to long term. I mean, short, it's great in a bull market, or not short. Short scalping or long scalping is great in a bull market. It's very easy to predict when you have good volume. But right now, again, as I showed you, if we add the volume onto this chart as well, I mean, let's just add it on here real quick. We're losing it. We're not gaining volume. No matter what's happening or what's being said or what the news is, we see these price spikes and stuff like that. But, right here looked promising. On that 8,500 run, it looked good. Like, yeah, awesome. We're really building some momentum here. Better than in previous runs. You know, in this run here, we made that run on no volume. You know, it was decreasing volume, and we made a good run here. And this run up, when we broke that head and shoulders, or inverse head and shoulders, look at the volume increase, and the volume got great. But this entire downtrend, again, we're just falling off, and we're not gaining volume. Yeah, we're catching a couple green spikes in here that are getting us going here, a couple of green days, but we're still decreasing volume from the higher, you know, still lower high, or yeah, still lower highs or lower lows, whatever you want to call them. But either way, we're not creating a higher high. So, I mean, I just don't see any reason to go against the overall trend of down. It makes no sense, especially when it was so questionable in the ranges that we've been playing in. So now that we're up here, and that was another thing I wanted to show you. With that drop, these tests of this 7100 area, or 71 whatever, we got a little over 7100, 7200, 7100 test, is right at the 0.5 fib level. So, you know, getting up into this area is going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy. We're going to, you know, we blew right through that 0.32, and now we're testing the 5. I 100% feel that this is not going to break through that, but we'll see. You know, we may see a nice quick wick up and boom, back down. You know, we don't know. So we're just going to have to see how it plays out. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. I still think overall, you know, we're going down. This was a nice little rally, short squeeze, whatever you want to call it. But as we keep watching it and keep checking all the charts, it's losing momentum. It really is, and I just don't see it gaining more momentum and breaking out at this point. I just don't see it happening. So we'll see. You know, even on the 12-hour chart, you look at the volume, super down. We've got an up price. So we'll see what happens from, you know, it came up, came back down. It's coming down. And if it goes back to even an average area of where it's been hanging out at, if you look at, I mean, let's just kind of use my mouse here. We'll draw kind of an ideal line. I mean, that's a pretty even line. I mean, we can go there. We can probably even go a little bit lower. But let's just call it even there. We have room to fall. It looks like it's topping back out with the volume here. If you draw the line there, it's pretty close. It's topping back out as well. And we may see it continue to fall back down to where we play around in this area. Kind of how we have been for the entire time, basically. For the last 6 to 8 months. It's all been that same area. I mean, we've seen a couple of good price spikes, you know, good price spike, but nothing's creating here. This is coming back down. I don't see us creating a higher high right now. I think we're done. I think we're gonna stop out here and we're gonna play this game again for a little while and come back down, and we'll get back to trading at this normal level that we kind of trade with volume in Bitcoin right now. And it's about in this area. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But that's kind of my outlook. Let's see here. Again, this 12-hour chart's one I've been watching. I want to see what happens, you know, in the next 24 hours. Where do we end up at here? Because this 9 will give us another day to see if the 1 day's done or if it's got a little bit more left in it. We're back to 7107, so I mean, I always look at the GDAX volume. You know, we're still 1300 BTC, so that's not too bad. It's down. It's still down. It's falling still. If you look at the walls here, I mean, again, they don't mean much. Usually it goes the other way of the power, but right now there's some pretty big sell pressure on DAX. So just keep that in mind, or on Coinbase Pro, whatever you want to call it. So let's see if I can get a chart here for some reason. Sorry guys, we're slow today. And I'm sorry got this video out a little late today. I had some stuff to take care of here here at home with the babies and stuff. So that was some stuff I had to take care of. You know, let's see here. I had a few notes here I wanted to go over. We did see, we looked at the descending triangle. Okay, so there was some stuff in here. Well, anyway, basically, I mean, I think that's really basically the idea. I mean, I clearly believe this is 100% short territory. I would not be long in this to save my life, to be honest with you right now. It's just too risky. You know, even if it goes up, you know, another $300-400, it's not smart to long it right now. It could crash at any time. We've seen these, and don't forget, I mean, there's an ascending triangle painted here on the smaller time frames as well. It's rising. It's losing a lot of its buy power. So, and that's kind of what's happening here. I mean, we can just draw a couple quick lines, and I mean, you can easily see that there's clearly a descending triangle forming here. Let's just do that. This computer's driving me insane. So let's just call it that for now. That was the next big uptrend. So let's call that a try line there, touching a lot of lines, as many as we can. And let's do the same thing here. So we went based off of that spike back up. Come on. There we go. Come on, this computer is driving me nuts today, guys. I don't know what I did to it or what happened, but something's not right. So right there. Come on. If I could just get it up. Alright, for some reason I'm like having massive trouble here. This is just not moving. This computer's driving me insane. So anyway, there's an ascending triangle here in a few different ways. I mean, god damn it. That's one way I see it. This one I didn't like because it kind of broke up. I thought that's what I had drawn most of the time. I didn't see us breaking out of that. That's kind of where that moving average was at. But it happened. We kind of broke up through there. Now that's what I want to see is how long do we hold? Do we hold it there, or is it just coming right back in to crash and maybe draw another line here with kind of a, you know, a hyperwave up or something like that? I mean, I'm not sure. But either way, it's rising too fast. It needs to come on. We need to see it move sideways now and not up anymore. I just don't see it going up very much more. Like I said, guys, I mean, we've seen the 9 everywhere. In all the years I've done this, I mean, I haven't seen so many 9s on every chart and them actually play out. So we'll see how it works out. Most of the time when you have that much 9s, it's telling a lot of it's saying that basically is it's ran out of steam. Each one of these time frames is running out of steam on this move. So let's just pay attention to it for a little bit. We'll watch it. My main time frames right now are going to be more of the longer time frames, 4, 6, 12. Obviously 24 hours, the daily. But again, I'm still looking at this descending triangle here that we've been creating for a while in this bear market. It's actually quite reminiscent of the 2014 market. I'm actually working on a comparison chart on my laptop here at the moment that I will be sharing with you guys soon. And basically, it's kind of a comparison to the monthly, the weekly, and the daily charts of the 2 years in the bear market. And in the bear market, then in the bear market now, we're very, very, it's very close. They're almost identical. It makes me feel like this will continue to do a downward movement for a while. You know, bearing any ETF decision or anything along those lines that may help us pump up a bit, or change the sentiment and change the actual downtrend and bring new money in. Until we see that, I just don't see it happening. We have noticed very many times that the ETF it drops, this it drops, blah 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 blah, or ETF this, ETF that. But if you just take that out of it and just go based off of what the charts tell you and what it's been doing for a while, it'll tell you that this could be the beginning of this bear market. We could easily drop farther than the 3,500 or 3,500 to 3K area. We should easily drop to that and drop farther. You can be in denial, you can be in whatever you want and say, oh, it's not possible, but it's very possible. According to the charts, it's more possible than it's not. So, just keep those things in mind. We got to remember that crypto is not going to get us rich tomorrow. It's turning more and more like the stock market every day. You have to remember there's no get-rich-quick scheme here. I mean, you can try long and short all day long, but overall, you're going to end up screwing yourself. So just think long-term, think mid-term, and realize that there's a really good chance that this is gonna crash soon. It's not going to crash, to 3.5 or anything like that. I don't tend to think it'll fall that far. I have another chart. Let's see if maybe I can just draw it for you guys real quick. Well, either way, when you pull out on the daily, and you can't do it on the BitMEX chart because it doesn't go back far enough. Let's see. Let's go to the monthly. I'm going to show you guys this real quick here. Okay. That's the wrong chart. Weekly. So sorry guys, my computer is just being retarded. What is going on? Let me zoom out of this a little bit here. Sorry guys, I'm having an issue here. What's going on with this thing? Oh my god. I don't know what's going on, guys. My computer's just been freezing up. I don't know what the deal is. But either way, I will make that chart and get it done and show it to you guys. Something I will make sure I get done. Now I'm in percentages. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of all I really have for you guys today. I mean, there's not much more I can go over. just wanted to show you guys that kind of idea there. Also, I had a guy ask me in my group today about the BitMEX calculator. It's pretty cool, man. Just use it, check it out. I'm sure some of you guys know how to use it. If you don't, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it over here and show you it real quick. So this is the calculator right here. Basically, you know, you can put in your leverage. You can, you can figure out your liquidation price before it happens. So, you know, if you're in 40,000, you're gonna add 40,000 more. It'll tell you what your new position will be and then what your liquidation price would be. Same thing for your target price. If your leverage is at 10 and you want 100% ROI and you enter at this price, you need 6,000 to make 100%. So that kind of gives you an idea of how far you need to drop to hit your target price, stuff along those lines. So something for you guys to use. Check it out. Same thing with your P&L, profit and loss. You put your entry and exit, and it'll tell you what your P&L is based on how many contracts and what leverage you use. So again, if you guys want to do that, you can. That's something I wanted to go ahead and show you guys. So wanted you to see that. Again, I'm gonna watch this 12-hour chart, you know, throughout the day, tonight, tomorrow, see what happens there. Also, I will be watching the one day. I was going to tell you about the one day. That's one other thing I didn't do. I didn't pull up the Ichi on here. Get the numbers out of the way here. See if we can get our computer here to work a little better. It's not doing very well. So anyway, again, we're back at that Ichi cloud. On the one day, we're getting close again. It's about where that 128-day moving average is, 72 to 78 or 4. It's right there. Watch it. So watch the top of the cloud as well. We can easily start to see it tumble back down. That's another indicator you guys can use. The Ichimoku cloud is awesome. If you learn how to use it, it's sweet. I'll do a video on that in the coming months on how to use some of these indicators and stuff like that. But we'll get around to that a little later on. But anyway, so that's kind of the idea there. We'll see what happens. We're getting a little push up, a little push down here. We'll see what it decides it wants to do. But I'm thinking we're definitely going to fall. I think this is a great area to start building more shorts. If you were long, then go ahead and start shorting it. Any balance is a good buy right now. So just keep an eye on that. So we'll go from there, guys. I mean, we've got us a nice little bounce going here. There's a few bullish signs, but overall, it still looks very, very bearish to me. And I still think that we're gonna possibly see a nice little crash here in the coming days. So we'll see when it decides to do that. But that's kind of the idea. Remember, we're moving on lower volume. It's not increasing, so we'll just have to see what happens here. We've got some green, red candles here going on the 4-hour. The sequential's off here, but I believe we've just finished up a 9. Let's see us get a price flip here in the next candle. That'd be awesome. But anyway, guys, we'll get back at it tomorrow. Another day, another dollar. We will see what we can do from here. But you guys enjoy your night. It's later here in the day. Like I said, we got this started a little short today. So we'll go from here. And we will see where we end up at in the coming days. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Don't work too hard, and be ready for a good fall here, because it's coming. I've been saying it for a few days, and we've gone over a lot of these things. We knew that the short squeeze was coming. We expected that to happen, but it was kind of a risky bet, so we didn't go with it. So just keep that in mind. Thinking long-term and safe here, midterm. So let's keep that up. You guys, again, you have a good day, or good night, or good morning, or whatever it may be for you. So you guys have a good day. Awesome. We'll see you later.